So I've recorded over 65 podcast episodes in the last year and a half. And the crazy thing is that we made an ROI before we even launched an episode. And so in this video, I want to walk you through the 3 core reasons why every business needs a podcast and the reason why it might be one of the biggest growth channels that you have in 2026 as well. So the first reason is you can make an ROI before you even launch. And so the reason why I say this is because when I launched Visionary Voices, before that, I was having calls with people who I wanted to have on the show. But what I also did is that I made sure the people I was having calls with, they could also be potential clients of mine as well. And what we found was you could actually get much higher conversion rates on any type of outbound message, any type of LinkedIn DM when you approach it from a podcast approach first, because ultimately it's a relationship building message, right? All you're saying is, hey, I've got a podcast. I think you'll be a fit for it. Let's jump on a quick call to see if it's right for you. And because you're connecting with them in a non-sales environment, people open up about everything in their business, which is amazing, right? Because on a sales call, specifically a demo call, a discovery call, people are closed off, right? You really need to ask the right questions and really dig deep to get the answers that you need to get. In a podcast medium, people will be very open and honest about what's happening right now, the current situation, and all these things. And what we found was through those conversations, it was kind of like we were doing our discovery without even meaning to do it. And because of that, whenever we came across someone who we can actually help them, right? There's a fit here. We would just say that. We would say, oh, by the way, like you mentioned, you're having this problem right now. We actually have this solution. Like it could be a fit. Let's have a conversation. And we did that with people who we wanted to have on the podcast before we even launched. And we closed one of those as a client. And it just blew my mind that we could make an ROI before we launched, because I was under the impression that having a podcast means you need to get downloads, you need to go viral, you need to do all these things, get sponsorship to make money from it. But as a business, you can leverage it to have the right conversations with the right people, people who's your ideal client. And so ROI before you launch is huge. And so that's reason number 1. Now, the second one is borrowed authority. And so this is a really cool one, because when I had Adam Robinson on my podcast last year, he is on LinkedIn. He's got a few, I think 100,000 followers now. Maybe at the time he had 60, 70,000. And I posted one short form bit of content with him, my face next to his face. His network saw it because I tagged him. He commented. Some of his network engaged with it. A few of them messaged me. And from the ones that messaged me, I actually closed one of those as a client as well, a little bit later down the line. And it was this crazy light bulb moment in my mind where, naturally, even if you haven't got high authority in the space, right? You haven't got hundreds of thousands of LinkedIn followers. You haven't got, all these different things. If you have people on who do have those things, then naturally their network sees it. You get this growth lever off the back of people seeing your face and their face next to each other. And so this borrowed authority effect is really, really amazing. And the other amazing thing that I found is that even if the guests you have on, they're not a huge influencer, they haven't got hundreds of thousands of LinkedIn followers or Instagram followers or whatever, you can actually still leverage this borrowed authority by having these kind of micro thought leaders in the space, right? We have people who have maybe 1,000 followers on LinkedIn, but those 1,000 followers that they have are people like them, right? Who obviously respect this person. And so naturally we can tap into that by having these people on the podcast as well. And so at all levels, you get this borrowed authority effect. And it really is amazing what results you can see off the back of that as well. Reason number 3 is the content effect, right? It really is a flywheel, because obviously the content we get from it is the long form content. So we get the 30-minute episode, the 60-minute episode, however long it's going to be. Naturally, from a 30-minute episode, we can get maybe 3 to 5 good short form bits of content, which is amazing, which we can post on kind of YouTube Shorts. We can post on LinkedIn, of course, as one of the main channels for B2B. But also what we can do from these podcast episodes is generate additional content, again, automatically. So one thing that we've set up for us and our clients now is whenever we create any type of short form bit of content, from that short form bit of content, we can then use that to generate either ideas for things like blogs or social media posts or anything like that, or we can actually get it to generate that content for us. And so we can leverage AI, workflows, NAN, make.com, whatever it's going to be, to help create some more content off the back of one podcast episode. So think about it. You're doing this one action where automatically you're inviting on people who you can work with in the business setting. That's the first thing. The second thing you're getting is a borrowed authority effect from people you're having on and then posting about it. The third thing you're getting is not only long form content, short form content, you're also getting blogs, you're also getting additional content ideas, all these other things as well. So you're getting this kind of 360, effect, flywheel effect through the actions that you're doing. And that action all stems from just having, the podcast, right? The podcast is this asset that you have, which allows you to do all these amazing things. So if you're thinking of starting a podcast in 2026, I highly agree that you should do it. But of course, there's a lot of things that go into a podcast, and it can be seen as a big, scary thing. More than happy to jump on a quick call with you if you wanted to run through what it will look like for yourself. Just click the link in the description and we can talk about it a little bit more. If not, then feel free to check out some of the other videos.